The next concept is encapsulation. So what is encapsulation? Encapsulation is nothing but, if you remember, we are having the capsules. Okay, so capsules, what it will be having inside, it will be having the medicine. Okay, so here also, if we say, take the same example, let's take capsule as a class. So class will be having methods and variables. So what kind of methods and variables if it has? So we are writing a class. So all classes is not a encapsulated related classes. Some of the classes will be having encapsulation behavior. So what is that encapsulation behavior? So whatever the variables you are going to write it, if it is having a private variables and associated methods, that particular class will be called as a encapsulated class. So here the class will be having tightly encapsulated and non-tightly encapsulated related class. So encapsulation, the best example what we can say, that's the Pojo class. So what is the Pojo class? How it looks like? So let's go back to that here. Let me erase this all this stuff. This is previous example. So if you take the new one, we're talking about Pojo class. What is that Pojo class means? Class. I'm just taking one example. The class, it's this employee. So here, let's take two parameters, int age and string name, string address. Let's take three parameters. Okay, uh, three arguments, int age, name, address. This associated methods also will be here, public void set age, public int get age. Okay, let's take this, so one of the methods for this one, the similarly for remaining. Okay, so if you're taking employee object, it has its variables and methods. So whatever the variable you have, what type of variable it is, the modifier is here, it's a default. If you're not defining anything, that means it is a default related, and it is having the public methods. Okay, this is setter method, this is getter method. So if you take this one, this is not a title, it's encapsulated related class. Okay, so what you can say encapsulated means, it should be having a private variables. Okay, whatever the variables it is defined, these all are the default related. Okay, so instead of default, it should be having private, and similarly private. So if you write this way, this is tightly encapsulated. Okay, so encapsulation definition is data variable, data types plus methods. So data hiding plus abstraction. So in this case, data hiding, how you can achieve? By using private keyword. So private keyword, usually within the class level, this particular age, name, address will be accessible. Outside of the class will not be able to access it. And along with that, it has a method related. So abstraction, it is having implemented or non-implemented methods. So here It's a implemented method. So this combination, wherever you see, it is encapsulated class. Okay, so it should be having the private variables and methods. Okay, so this is the example, we'll call it as a encapsulated class, and also call it, this is the Pojo class. Pojo means plain old Java object. So usually these Pojo classes will be using whenever you are transferring the data from one layer to another. Let's take, you have a layer that is from UI to, one second. So from UI to, let's take, you are transferring the data from UI to database. So in this scenario, so data is going to be transferred from UI to, next one is controller layer to business layer and database. So when you are going to transferring the data from one layer to another, usually we are going to use this kind of Pojo classes, or someone will call it as a Vivo value object, someone will call it as a Pojo classes. Okay, so these kind of classes is going to be set it as a encapsulated class. Okay, so this is the example for encapsulation.